Thank you for joining the Turtle Optimist Podcast today. Have you ever wondered what it takes to truly build a music community? Today, I'm sitting down with someone who's not just dreaming about it, but doing it. My guest is a musician who understands the soul of a song, and she's taking the passion and turned it into a mission to support fellow artists and create unforgettable live music experiences. Terri Lachance joins us today to share her journey from the stage to the booking sheet, and she's weaving a network of talent and connection together. So welcome, Terri.
Thank you. Wow. You make me sound really important.
You are very important.
Uh, well, no, it's like a joy to be able to share, all the things that are going on. And like I said, life is short. You got to keep doing it.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So let me start off with the first question, and then you can weave in about your music career and all
Sure.
of that. I know that when you and I first met, you were talking about how you really started writing music immediately after picking up a guitar at the young age
Hmm.
of 12.
Yep.
And so I'm just wondering if you can recall the first song you wrote and what inspired it.
Well, when I was writing songs then, there were a lot of probably about love or love lost. And I'm so bluntly honest, I used to write long, 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 long letters to people if
Mhm.
I'd been wronged in some way or hurt or in some way. And I would write these like pages and pages and pages. And then I would like give it to them.
Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, it was,
Yes.
like in retrospect, it was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if anybody has those still, or they just burned them in a fire. But so
Right.
I realized that, expression in words was really important. And as soon as I got a guitar, I realized I was a songwriter because
Hmm.
I wrote poems, I wrote letters, I kept journals. I was like one of those people that just thought writing was the way that you expressed yourself. And then I realized like a lot of times like a song could be very emotional and say exactly what you needed to say, in some kind of format. So it was definitely like I had been wronged song, in some way.
Oh, right, right, right. And young love is hard, so that completely makes sense.
Yes.
So you have 8 CDs of original music, and you have two more albums on the way. So
Yep.
I'm just wondering how your songwriting process has evolved over the years, particularly tackling topics like social justice.
Okay. Well, when there's a need, there's a way. And what I found is that when you feel that angst in your stomach, like I tend to hold things kind of in that spot where I feel like, oh gosh, there's just a lot going on, like a tight feeling. You realize, like, I feel like a song is coming. And lots of times, what'll end up happening is I think and think and think. I'm a jogger in the morning, so I jog, and I think. And then I'm like, I keep notes in my phone for things. And then
Hmm.
songs do come out. And what I realized is that it's definitely progressed past, that love and it's all about me. And I realized my songs are more about the world and about
Hmm.
justice and about change and about, us being in control of our destinies a little bit more. I think
Hmm.
that, as you get a little bit older, it's not all about yourself,
Right.
so you realize that. And, you write about your memories, you write about your children, you write about, things that are going on, things that are unsolved, that you feel like need solving in some way.
Hmm. Right, right. Well, thank you for that. Yeah. And so I think, as we talk about music and, you're still on the stage, you've been on the stage, you've been producing and making music and all of that. You've also become what I'm going to call a booker. So someone who is booking
Hmm.
events for other musicians, etc. So I'm wondering how you typically approach a new venue to understand what their music needs are and preferences.
Well, what ends up happening was this was kind of like a default that came into my lap based on a coffee shop originally. There was a person booking the coffee shop, and I lived close by. So I asked to be part of it. And when got finished, I'd take out my calendar and get a new date. And that person said, I don't have time to do this. Would you
Mhm.
like to do it? So
Yeah.
what that particular venue sort of fell into my lap. And what people realized is that um, part of what I think the mission is not to just book, but to show up and
Mhm.
be, there for the person if you can in any way. So I try not to, book things without realizing that I'm going to try to, stop in or show up for that person. And that's what ends up happening with me,
Mhm.
most of the places that I like put people, musicians in, are not, they don't have a strong preference as to who they are getting,
Mhm.
other than the fact that they're reliable and they show up and do all of the things they're supposed to. But nobody's told me like you have to have a following, you have to have, this many people coming in before, so I'm very lucky in that way. For the
Mhm.
coffee shops and the little, the restaurants, the little, cafes and bakeries and things like that, that I put people in. Um, you know, the other part is that, the Buttonwood, which is a cultural center, which does care, how many
Mhm.
people you bring in and all of that. But for the most part, the last, couple of years, I've just been able to, put a person in, meet a person, show up, listen to them, live stream them for a little bit, say who's coming, the week after week. Like I'll just, mention like so and so's here next week, and so and so's
Mhm.
here next week, and and kind of like but in a mild way. Like I don't go crazy because
Mhm.
I have a life too,
All
so I'll
right.
just post, like so and so is going to be at the downtown coffee shop, so and so is going to be at Chain of Bees, these two
Mhm.
people are at Moose's, burgers, this
Mhm.
weekend, and then just kind of let it be, and let the people also who are performing, put something out to
Mhm.
let people know that they are going to be there. And the idea is that we're building community,
Yeah.
that, and I live stream from all of these places. And my first thing to say always is, please come in, don't just watch this live stream,
Right.
come into the place, thank the person that booked, musicians. If you are
Mhm.
a musician, show up for another musician, don't
Mhm.
just look at your own name on the list of, I'm coming up someday soon,
Mhm.
come when it's not your turn. And
Right.
and thank the business for having musicians, and realize that yeah, you might see like 400, 500 streams from a live
Mhm.
stream, but that doesn't help the business know
Right.
that
Yeah.
that that they are appreciated for having the musicians. So I
Exactly.
try to like just do a little bit of like a live stream. Like I don't stream like the entire performance or anything like that. I'll be like, here's a song or two, here's a taste, here's what the
Mhm.
place looks like,
Yeah.
come, here's how
Yeah.
you get there,
Yeah.
here's the address, and here are your directions to get there.
Yeah.
And then I try, to get people to show up. I'm trying to help the person,
Mhm.
the business, to get quality and wonderful people, and also giving musicians a chance to play in different places,
Yeah.
but also just trying to create community. And the coffee shop, the downtown coffee shop, which I did not start, is literally full of people. They don't actually
Mm.
even know who's playing week to week, they just show up. And
Mhm.
it's amazing to me. And
Yeah.
people sit at each other's tables, if there's no room,
Mhm.
and they didn't even know each other before, but now
Mhm.
they do, you know what I mean? And
Right.
people look for each other outside of the community, out of the coffee shop. They see
Mhm.
each other other locations. I'm like, oh my God, they're all becoming friends,
Yeah. Yeah.
and what you realize is that it can be fostered through like music and the get-togetherness, of people
Right.
getting together like on a weekly basis. And I'm it just takes my breath away when I watch it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's
So
something about music that just joins people together from all different backgrounds. And so it's just that's beautiful. That really is. Um,
yes.
so
And
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's great. So you emphasize promoting the musician. What specific
Hmm.
promotional tactics do you use, especially with venues that might offer like a unique compensation for them, possibly like a meal of some kind?
What I do is I don't always advertise that it's a meal and like, or $50 in a meal,
Hmm.
because some musicians will reach out to me and say like, you know, that's that's not enough. The business should be supporting more and more, But what I believe is that businesses do what they can, and I feel like, it's important for, like I said, for especially fledgling people, just starting out performing, to have the opportunity to go someplace. And some of them are like amazed that they are getting like $50 or a meal, or even tips in a meal. And I feel like it's a good first place for some people. And I will say, like, very, very, very seasoned musicians will still ask me for a date, to play. And some of them have to wait like a year, before they're coming back there,
Wow.
because they like the atmosphere of the place. It's during the day. It's not you know somewhere, it's just not somewhere where you have to, you can have another gig at night. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Right.
have to be, you don't have to have like it's during the afternoon. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't have to worry about that as much. But yeah, it's a good opportunity. And like I said, a lot of people realize that other musicians are going to come out and listen to them. They're also going to be, the opportunities there, to like connect with different people and be in a place that people haven't seen you,
Right.
for a while. So it's just
Right.
lovely. All of it's
Yeah.
lovely.
This conversation is a reminder that music isn't just about the notes. It's about the connections, the community, and the shared passion that brings us all together. A huge thank you to Terri for sharing her story and for reminding us that everyone can make a difference in their local art scene. We hope that you're feeling as inspired as we are to go out and support live music and maybe even start building your own creative connections. Don't forget to check out terrilachance.com or on Spotify. And as always, thank you for tuning in. See you next time on Turtle Optimist.